My name is Heather Feldman, and I'm a mindfulness instructor and a registered dietitian at our Vancouver TELUS Healthcare Center, where we offer ongoing healthcare and a center dedicated to mental health. During our time together today, we'll briefly cover what mindfulness is, why it might be useful for you. We'll practice a 10-minute group meditation and learn one way to help support your mindfulness journey moving forward. So let's jump right in. So it might surprise you that mindfulness does not actually have a single definition, but it can generally be described as intentional awareness of the present moment, in which we aim to cultivate certain qualities like non-judgment and compassion. In present moment awareness, we're focused on what's happening right here, right now. So we're not ruminating about past events or worrying about future events. We may use things like body sensation or our breath to help anchor us into this present moment. So instead, we can only breathe into this moment. We can't breathe into the past or breathe into the future. This makes sensations like breathing a really useful anchor to remind ourselves of where the present moment is. So while the ability to be mindful is already present in each and every one of us, practicing mindfulness regularly is going to allow us to access it more readily. So learning to practice mindfulness helps us become more aware of our thoughts, our feelings, and our body sensations, which allows us for space to step away from our old habits and increase our awareness to respond to situations with choice versus reacting to situations on autopilot. So for example, perhaps our tendency when we get cut off in traffic is to maybe make an angry hand gesture or to say a comment underneath our breath to the driver who cut us off. And when you take this same situation with a more of a moment-to-moment mindful awareness, you may notice what anger feels like for you. So you might notice that your heart starts to beat a little faster, or that your shoulders kind of cave in and you feel some tension in around your heart space. Maybe your jaw starts to tighten. And in that moment, you could recognize, I'm feeling angry, and be more aware of the following actions that you take. So you may choose to respond by taking a deep breath to help calm your body, or perhaps you feel like the situation does need a different action. The point being is that you have more choice over those next steps compared to automatically going for that habitual response. And of course, the benefits of mindfulness will also span far beyond your life behind the wheel. So hopefully this gives you a bit of an understanding of what mindfulness is, that moment-to-moment awareness with that compassion and non-judgment, and one example of why it might be useful for you. So in our group guided meditation today, we'll do a practice of mindful self-compassion. So in self-compassion, we're working with the idea of treating yourself with the same kindness that you would a good friend. So this meditation style, which we'll practice today, called affectionate breathing, was created by Kristen Neff and Chris Germer as part of their mindful self-compassion course. So during this affectionate breathing practice, we're working to infuse each breath with kindness and affection. So even if you don't feel kindness and affection in this exact moment, you're looking at setting your intention to be that space of kindness, affection. We're working with that on each inhale as directing kindness towards yourself. So you might even think of this as an ocean wave crashing over top of you, like a nice big wave of kindness with each inhale that you take. And then on each exhale, we're sending out kindness to someone else. So you might choose one individual in specific. So maybe you have someone in mind that could use a little bit more compassion in this moment. Perhaps you want to just send it out to your community around you, or just more broadly out to others. And of course, tune into what you need most in this moment. So if you feel like you need both the inhale and the exhale for your own self-compassion in this moment, feel free to take it. But if not, we're working with each inhale, infusing it with kindness for ourselves, and on our exhale, directing that kindness elsewhere to others. And throughout this meditation, if you notice that your mind starts to wander, which it naturally likes to do, know that this is really natural, but just when you catch that wandering mind, try and bring yourself back to your breath and back to this practice. And that's often going to happen more than once throughout the practice. So work with that piece of kindness for yourself each time the mind wanders, and just gently make your way back. So we're going to get set up and ready to practice 10 minutes here together. So finding your way towards wherever you'd be comfortable for this meditation. So you might choose to actually lie down on your back, maybe have your feet out wider than hip distance, toes falling loosely apart, palms slightly away from the body, face up, or palms face down in the belly. Or maybe you're seated in a chair. And in the chair, you want to uncross the legs and have your feet flat on the floor, finding a tall spine if you're able to, with the shoulders stacked over top of the hips. And the palms might rest face down or face up on the knees or in the lap. Wherever you are, you want to find a posture that feels both alert yet relaxed. So making your way to that space. And if you feel comfortable to do so, I welcome you to either soften your gaze or to close your eyes. And once you're there, we'll begin our practice with 3 deep breaths all together. We'll be taking that breath in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. 3 group breaths. So when you're ready, nice deep breath in through the nose. And open mouth, exhale, let it go. 2 more just like that. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And open mouth, exhale, let it go. And last one, nice deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. When you're ready, softly sealing the lips and allowing breath to return to its natural breathing rhythm, in through the nose and out through the nose. And begin by tuning into your breath just as it is in this moment for you. Perhaps as if this was the very first time you felt yourself breathing. You get curious about how it feels on each inhale, how the air flows out on each exhale. You may notice the sensation of breath most in the base of the belly as it starts to rise and fall. Perhaps it's in the chest. Maybe you notice the air as it flows in and out of the nostrils. Finding that space where you feel most connected to your breath in this moment. And holding your awareness there for a few moments. Simply observing each inhale and observing each exhale. If your mind has wandered away from your breath, gently guiding it back to that sensation of breathing you felt most connected to when we started. Maybe in the belly or the chest, or the air in and out of the nostrils. When you're ready, Let's begin this practice of affectionate breathing. So starting by thinking of infusing your breath with kindness and affection towards yourself on your natural inhale. And on your natural exhale, sending out kindness and affection to that one person, your community, more broadly to others. And continuing with this practice here in your time, your pace. Each inhale we infuse with kindness to ourselves. And each exhale we send that kindness outwards to others. Work with this breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Soft seal of the lips. And even in this moment, if you can't feel that kindness, just setting that intention for your breath to be infused with kindness on each inhale for yourself. And each exhale, extending it out to others. If the mind begins to wander, as it naturally likes to do, see if you can catch that wandering mind. And with kindness, coming back to your breath, back to this practice. Each inhale, we infuse our breath with kindness directed towards ourselves. And each exhale, sending the kindness outwards to others. Observing the gentle flow of breath as kindness comes in. And the gentle flow of your breath as we send kindness outwards. Your breath occurs naturally, so each breath is a chance to begin again, chance to come back to this practice, back to this breath, to this moment, and to your practice of infusing each inhale with kindness directed towards yourself, and exhaling kindness outward to others. Spending a few more moments here, infusing each breath with kindness, in with kindness to yourself, and exhaling kindness to others. And when you're ready, you can slowly release the practice of the affectionate breathing. Take a moment with the gaze still soft or the eyes still closed, just to observe how your body feels in this moment, knowing that there's no right answer of how it should feel. Trying to observe without pulling in a judgment. When you're ready, welcome you to come back to our shared space, nice and slow. So you might start to add a little bit of movement in. You might roll out the wrists or the ankles. You might brush your thumbs gently over top of your other fingertips. Give the shoulders a nice big roll. And if your eyes were closed, blinking them back open, welcoming light back in. Slowly concluding your practice, coming back to our shared space. So that was our 10 minutes of our affectionate breathing practice, working with each inhale to infuse kindness directed towards ourselves, and each exhale sending out kindness towards others. If you are interested in learning more about mindfulness and practicing different techniques, TELUS Health offers a 4-week introduction to mindfulness and meditation. This course runs monthly. So classes meet virtually each week for 1 hour. And in between sessions, you're assigned take-home homework to complete. Throughout the course, you will learn both formal mindfulness practices, so that time when you're spending 5 or 10 minutes like we just did, to sit down and practice. But you'll also learn more informal practices, ways to integrate mindfulness into your day-to-day living. Each session will include a different breathing technique, as well as a 10-minute guided meditation. You'll also receive a recording of that 10-minute guided meditation after each session for your ongoing use. And these sessions will also touch on other areas such as gentle mindful movement and how mindfulness impacts our brain. So if you're interested in this program, our next session will run on Mondays, starting June 7th and running till June 28th. That's at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Pacific time. The cost of this program is $225, which is inclusive of tax. And you would receive a recording of this session that we just did together after our time here today. And that will also have a link to register for that June session, should you be interested. So I wanted to end by saying thank you so much for joining me this afternoon for this mindfulness session. I'm so grateful I was able to spend time with each of you, and sending out some kindness to yourself for showing up for your practice and taking this 10 minutes for yourself. So thank you so much.